This is Two Blokes Talking Electric Cars with Stephen Fennick and Trevor Long. Thanks to NRMA Insurance and Uniden.
Thank you for downloading. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for telling your friends about this show. We appreciate it. We do it thanks to the great people at Uniden Smart Dash Cams. If you need a dash cam for your car, please look up Uniden. Look at their great range of dash cams, front and rear,
front and
both,
back,
and keep you protected on the roads. Because if something happens, you want to be able to prove what your side of the story is. And of course, NRMA Insurance, a help company helping Australians protect what matters most for almost 100 years. NRMA Insurance is one of the largest insurers of electric vehicles in Australia. So great to have their support and great to have your company, Stephen. Lovely to see you, mate.
It's great to be here, Trev. It's always something new and interesting to learn and to talk about on the show, because this is an area where a lot of new cars are coming into the market. We're learning things. We're hearing from our listeners as well. So a great place to, if you are thinking about buying an EV, you're at the right place.
You're here. We're here to help you buy that EV. We will vicariously shop through you. We will spend your money on your next car.
Let's do it.
0477 657 657. If you want to send us a text, we'll get you on the show and we'll try and share our knowledge. That's funny. No, we do have a little bit of knowledge.
Share our knowledge.
And just try and help you.
Share our knowledge.
But we'd also love to hear from you. If you're an owner and you're frustrated by something, or you're an owner and you love it and want to advocate for it, get in touch. Now, there's going to be a lot of new BYD owners because BYD are doing very well broadly in the market. The Atto3, the Dolphin, the Seal, and they've had the hybrid Sealion 6 and the hybrid Shark. Now, the Sealion 7 was announced a few weeks ago. And I got to tell you, the sharp pricing on this gets me excited.
Right.
Gets me really excited.
So competitive pricing, you mean? Is that what you mean?
Sharp. This is sharp
pricing.
as heck, right?
Okay.
Because you and I have been doing this podcasting game for 14 plus years.
A little while, yeah.
And in the tech space, I remember very early days of iPad, we'd see tablets and it'd be like, they'd be the same price as the Apple. It's like, what are you doing? So coming out with a car that competes with the Tesla Model Y, for example, and pricing it the same as the Model Y, what are you doing?
Guess what?
So the BYD Sealion 7 is starting at $58,000. Now, $58,148, something like that.
That's very competitive.
That is $10,000 less than a Tesla Model Y.
Wow.
I think that's remarkable. It's actually, interestingly, slightly more expensive than a Kia EV5. Now, these were drive-away prices a few weeks ago when I did the numbers, but still, that's a good sign. To be able to go, hang on, I want a, SUV-style car, mid-size SUV. It's not exactly a large car.
It's not an EV9 or anything like that.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a Model Y comparatively.
Yep.
I think the BYDs are looking great. The Atto is starting to age, I think, in looks. But the Seal, the Sealion, these are beautiful looking cars.
Sealion's a cracker. I'm a fan. And it's not too different to the previous Model A design-wise.
The Sealion 6, no, it's very similar.
It's very similar, but fully electric.
But imagine taking your friend, your partner, whoever's helping you along your EV buying journey and going, here's a Model Y, even the new version, and here's a Sealion 7.
Yeah.
Here's a Kia EV5. These are all good-looking cars.
Yeah.
So on pure aesthetics, you got to win.
Yeah.
This is great technology BYD do. They have good battery technology. The interior has all the mod cons. It is a bit jarring like most BYD interiors. It's a bit different, But, mate, 58 grand.
You know what I like about the BYDs, though, seem like you say you get into a Tesla, right? You get into a Tesla and it's like a spaceship. You're thinking, wow, they're sort of really sparse and Spartan looking. What I like about the BYD is it's kind of in the middle.
Yes.
Like there's the elements of the car, but then you see, whoa, this screen that tilts this way and that way, and all these buttons and things.
Yep.
And so I think there's a nice balance there. Don't you
And
reckon?
I think for a lot of people, and we speak to these people every week, this is the first car they've bought in a long time. Yeah. Their last new car didn't have some of the features of basic new cars today.
Yeah.
So when you then add to it this kind of futuristic big screen and, beautiful luxury style fit out and all these kind of things, it really gets quite appealing. Yeah. Now, the top end of this, if you take the top end Tesla Model Y, you're going to pay 80 grand.
Wow.
These top out at 67.5.
That's for the Sealion 7 Performance.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so range-wise, it's up there too, isn't it? So what do you got here?
The entry-level premium has a range of 482.
Wow. Which is
more than the Model Y.
Yeah.
At the kind of more expensive end, it's 456. I've obviously written that wrong there. The Tesla
The
Model Y
all-wheel
one.
drive one, yeah, it's
not
420,
it's
or
520.
420.
Yeah, it's 420 because it's the all.
I was going to say that's low range.
Yeah, low range
Nice,
Tesla.
yeah.
I'm just smashing them.
Yeah.
Look, there's anything over 400 is a win.
Oh yeah.
I would prefer a car like this had 500 plus though.
Yeah. So what is it? 480.
The long range Kia at 63,990 has 555 Ks.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
No, it's an important thing that people look at, isn't it? That they do.
Yeah.
Range is one of those tick boxes you got to tick. Especially depending on your driving situation. But price is another box to tick, and it certainly delivers. That's some solid value right there.
BYD said in their announcement that the mid-size SUV segment in Australia is a crucial one, representing 23% of all vehicles sold.
Wow. Is that right? So nearly a quarter of so 1 in 4 cars is an SUV sold in Australia.
Is a mid-size SUV.
Wow. That's a big market.
And the broader SUV market is 57% of the overall market. So, you can see why having an SUV and having this space is critical. So good on them. We'll get behind the wheel in the near future.
I'm looking forward to driving
It'll be
this
great.
one.
Yeah. And we'll bring you out our details. If you've seen one, test-driven one or anything, you can get in touch as well. 0477 657 657. We'd love to hear from you no matter where you're at in your electric car journey. 0477 657 657. I'm a bit worried about that action, if I'm honest.
The music just took hold of me. I don't know.
The lasso was something different, folks.
Yeah, had
something
an emotional connection with the music just there.
For those enjoying the video feed, that one's
maybe
worth
a reason to watch the video feed to see what I did.
It's probably a reason to look it up on YouTube. Two Blokes Talking Electric Cars. You can subscribe to a YouTube podcast. That's another way of doing podcasting.
Get into it.
I'm not sure many people
you nothing.
do. Percentage of people that do for us is very low, but that's okay.
Cost of entry, 0.
Yeah. Value,
immense.
Priceless.
Priceless, yeah, good call.
Priceless.
Immense value.
0477 657 657. If you have an EV, want to buy an EV, or just want to chat about EVs, we're happy to have a text message from you. We'll try and get you on the show to have a chat, which was what we've done with Scott. G'day, Scott.
Hey, boys.
Mate, what can we do for you? What do you own, mate? You own or in the market?
Are you in the market or you've already got a car?
No, already got a car. So my wife and I both have 22 and 23 respectively yeared BYD Atto3s.
His and hers.
Doing very well.
Yeah. Well, we initially had the Gen 1 MG ZS EV when that was launched in kind of 2020, early 21.
Yep.
And that was our first electric car, so we're a 2-car family. And then on the back of the BYD, I convinced my wife. I said, "Hey, look, let's go full electric household, and we'll just work out the rest later." And she loved her car. And in fact, I love the Atto3 so much, I then upgraded my MG to the Atto3.
Yeah, right. Okay. So was there anything else about your household or your circumstances that made fully electric make sense? Like for me, to be honest, the only justification is I really, when I was at solar level, so that I could really take advantage of the cost savings.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that is a big thing. I did look at the budget on the spend, and obviously we've travelled less since COVID because of the flexibility of working from home in our roles. So yes, we can charge the cars from home on solar. And then obviously things like AGL and OVO offering EV charging plans is very helpful as well. We do have significant solar panels and Powerwall too. So we've kind of, we got our first solar system, I think, about 14 years ago, and we've added a couple more. Wow. So our roof is chock-a-block with about 58 panels.
So you're well ahead of the curve there. You're well prepared.
Yeah. That's right. So, it just made sense to us from a number of perspectives. And also, just in terms of the BYD, obviously the MG was a nickel manganese cobalt battery. The whole LFP, the blade battery, vehicle to load, having an app, all those things made sense to us. So that's why we got the 2022 model, and then January of 23, I made the decision to get a second Atto3 and sell the MG, and that, that was also part of my plan as well, was to help kind of stimulate the secondhand car market as well. You're getting an EV, and through a lease obviously as well is another factor. But
you obviously like BYD. You wouldn't have bought two of them if you didn't. But were there any other brands? Were there other, like you said, you got a Powerwall. Was Tesla ever in the mix?
Well, to give you an example, back in 2022, when we priced the Atto3, the Model Y on the road then was just short of 70K.
Right.
So obviously the market has changed since then and the pricing's come down, although with the Juniper model it goes up again. But for us it was like, well, that's an extra 20 grand and we want to buy two of these things. So it just made sense from a practicality standpoint that, the BYD was a good offering. I actually just went and rewatched your video, Trevor, from a couple of years ago, and you could, and just knowing exactly what you felt, it's value for money. Yes, it's a bit quirky, but for us it gets A to B. We do a lot of running around with the kids, school runs, into work. I've travelled to Queensland and back in the Atto, and everything can be done. You just have to maybe change.
I was going to ask about your driving. So it sounds like you do a fair bit of driving, and so the fact that it's an EV is no problem.
Yeah, so in the 2 years, we've both just hit 45,000 kilometres apiece. I know other owners have done a lot more. There's a guy up in Queensland, I think, just hit 160,000.
Wow.
So there are some, and that's all on the back of, people banking on the BYD LFP blade battery, because the used in taxis, the degradation or lack thereof was a motivation. And for us, my wife and I, these are our forever car, but at least well beyond our retirement, and then we'll
these are not 2 and 3 year cars, so you're hoping for some solid life out of those batteries. And look, you'll when you hear last week's show and the week before, we talk a little bit about battery life and battery health. So there's some encouraging signs in that space.
Yes.
But you mentioned in your message you've also had a little bit of a troublesome time with a couple of supercharging locations. Talk to me about that, because obviously I'm an advocate, I'm a lover of the Tesla supercharger network because it's there,
100%.
It's reliable, and I wish they'd open it all up, but I totally understand from a business perspective why they don't. What's been your experience, mate?
Well, you're dead right, Trevor, and I 100% agree with you. It's a big, Tesla's vertically integrated. They do everything from batteries to cars to solar panels to energy. And, the problem I'm experiencing at the moment is akin to someone buying a petrol car and then finding out they can't fill it at Caltex. Yeah. So the issue we have at the moment is that the 2022, 2023 Atto3s cannot charge at any of the V3, V4 superchargers open to all non-Tesla vehicles.
Now, let's break that down for the uneducated. They're V4, versions.
The different versions, so the latest versions.
And these, we're talking here, to be clear, and
these will be the new locations.
I'm thinking about the caller from a week or two ago, Lucy, who was very new to it all, and sometimes I think we gloss over things. So Tesla has supercharger locations. And then they have the let's call them the Bowsers, the chargers that are sitting there, big white and red things. And there's been different generations of those that have gotten faster, better, different capabilities. So you're saying the two late, because I think they're only up to 4, aren't they? The two latest versions, 3 and 4, at a site where it is open to Tesla, because obviously open to non-Tesla, because obviously you can't charge at a Tesla one. It's not working for you. Is this unique to you, or in the BYD community, is this a known fact?
Okay, so out of probably, I'll give you a ballpark figure of about 13,000 Atto3s that were sold from kind of late 22 into the first part of 24, none of them can charge at those locations. They can only use the V2 network, which is the earlier network. So to give you an example, back in 23, and along your lines, Trevor, of advocating the Tesla network and that they do good things and they're about decarbonisation, I took my family all the way from Lake Macquarie here up to Hollydean, out to Dubbo, and we went to the zoo, all on the back of the supercharger network. So we did that in April of 23. So at no stage were any owners of the illusion that if a new CCS2 network opened, such as Tesla, that we would have a problem charging there. And in fact, we didn't. So then Yes, in August of 23 or thereabouts. And for me, it doesn't really matter about the time frame. It's just a CCS2 compatibility issue. But, yeah, they did then open those newer networks with the V3 hardware, and in some sites they've got the white, new kind of domey-looking V4 charging station, but it has the V3 hardware in it. And if I go to my Tesla app and go, charge my non-Tesla EV, oh, yes, I can charge at Raymond Terrace or I can charge at Port Macquarie. If I pull up there, it will not handshake, it will not charge, and has to do with the way they converted the car for the global market. They skipped over some pretty important factors with regard to the proximity pin in the car, and as such, it's missing software and hardware in order to handshake.
It can't be just a software upgrade that can solve this. You're saying there's a hardware issue as well.
100%.
Wow.
100%.
Mate, I've just done a quick search while you were talking there and about if there's any other incompatibilities with the V4 and V3 Tesla. And apparently there's Rivian is also
in the US.
In the US is also has a not all V3 and V4 chargers can charge them either.
Well, I'm looking at PlugShare, which is, as you know, my go-to for is a site working or not. And I'm looking at Yas, which I know is definitely new because I saw them upgrade the chargers, so I'm pretty sure they're V4. And I can see someone a month ago that on an Atto3 that couldn't charge, someone with a BYD Seal that couldn't charge. So I don't know whether that's related. But what are they saying? So because this is the challenge. If it was software, as Stephen says, if it's software only, fine, they can work on it. But if it's hardware and software, mate,
breaking news. I found this on the internet as well. Right, so the BYD Seal owners they're saying that there was an update. They're saying that many Australian owners on the forums are reporting that BYD is offering to fix the Tesla supercharger network incompatibility at their next service. Another update said
the Seal only.
Seal owner has released a video explaining how this issue was fixed by he's testing at a V3, V4 supercharger.
So what are they saying to you?
Well, and there's a very good point, Stephen, is that if you look at the numbers back then when the issue was identified and the sales through to March of 24, there was about 2,000 Seals sold. So that's a quick fix for BYD because that car was also up against the Model 3. Yes. So for them, that's a pretty big deficiency if they let that slide. But for over 13,000 owners here of the Atto3, they're basically fair trading, their response to fair trading was, we do not intend in retrofitting the Atto3.
I mean, look, I got to say,
they have no plans to do it.
Your challenge, Scott, here is that BYD didn't sell you a car saying it would work at a Tesla supercharger site, but you should have an expectation. So the alternative to that is you should have an expectation that your car will charge at a CCS2 site.
And to put to that point, Trevor, BYD never made a guarantee it could charge anywhere.
Yeah.
So, because they don't have their own network.
Who would you? Is this Tesla's fault or is it BYD's issue?
No,
it's
basically it's an adherence thing. So there's a CCS2 global standard, which if you look at some of the older networks, they're on probably that older standard. Yeah. And as that CCS2 global standard develops and is enhanced, Tesla have a stricter adherence to that. And that's what's happening for the Atto3 is that it was built for the China network with the GBT port. And when they converted it from GBT to CCS2, they did not change the harness, the wiring loom, the voltage.
And
they did not do any
incompatibilities that occur, right?
Correct.
Right. Well, so your point is that Tesla is a stickler for the standard and have built their chargers to the standard.
Yeah.
And therefore it doesn't see your car as meeting standard and therefore they're not going to let you charge, which is, entirely right from their perspective. So I feel
100%.
I feel like it's unlikely there'll be a resolution here, but I do want to ask BYD, and we'll reach out to BYD and ask them whether or not there is any, let me put it to you this way, and let's be mediator here, Scott.
Yeah.
If they said for a fee we could make the fix, would you?
You know what, Trevor?
Would you pay that?
That is an interesting point, but they haven't even offered that. They've offered nothing. And
But would you take it up?
Or is a two-way street?
Would you pay the money?
I would consider it, yes, but that actually is my concern, is that I feel as though it's going to be pretty pricey based on the manufacturing defect that occurred when they converted the car. But I would certainly consider it. Because what we've been talking about is that we know, and I've watched your podcast recently, we know that the charge network isn't where it should be. Yes, we're on the east coast of New South Wales and it's very well populated with people. On the back of that, there's lots more people driving EVs. And on the back of that, we've got an ageing network like ChargeFox and EV. Some of their tritium chargers just don't work. Just the other week, a lady drove from Queensland. She got to Taree EV. She was on about 20 or 15%, couldn't charge the car, headed to the supercharger site because her app told her she could. She got there and couldn't charge the car and had to be flatbed towed to a charger that would work. So, and this is the other problem. There's no communication from the distributor, from BYD globally. It's not just happening here too, by the way, boys. It's happening in Norway. And they've been told over there 100% it's not happening. That's on the BYD Han, the Tang, the Atto3. Right. All those older models, they've just been left high and dry.
Well, at the very least, I'll try and get a statement from BYD to get an understanding of it.
I'd love to see it, Trevor. I think I know what it's going to say.
I think we all do. Look, let's
just put it out there that this will only get resolved in court, and that's where this is headed from my perspective. Wow. Because for me, it's going to be a class action, and I know we've got time, basically got 3 years from the time the fault was identified to go down the path of a class action, and that's where I'm heading with it. I only need 7 people to come with me on that, and I've already got close to 500 people who are keen to look at that. So
just to be clear, because I need to understand just briefly, the class action will be based on what you claim to be a defect in the manufacturing, defect in the conversion of the wiring harness to meet the CCS2 standard.
And try and sell a car with that defect. And in fact, I'll make this point, that even after the fault was identified, they continued to sell the car without telling owners.
Oh, really? Okay.
So from September on through to, they were doing an Atto3 run-out sale in 2024, and none of those cars would have worked. So even after the event.
Look, I'm just thinking, is this an Australian consumer law claim too? Is it fall under that category as well?
I think it's going to be one heck of an interesting fight, I'll be honest with you, and I wouldn't want to put my house on either side, Scott. I don't know how it falls because I don't know.
No, I just feel I'm a man of principle. So to me, they should do the right thing. You know, the Atto3 is the model that brought the brand to Australia, and they do the right thing to the Atto3 owners, and at least at a minimum, as you boys have suggested, they should make it an offering to those. I know there's people out there, there's a lot of negative press too, where people go, no, I don't like Elon, I don't like Tesla, I don't want to have anything to do with their charging.
Yeah, I understand.
But guess what happens when Tesla, say, rolls out chargers for BP like they're doing in the UK? Then all of a sudden you've got a problem. And that's my other point, is it's not just a problem now, it's going to be a problem in 3 years' time.
Good on you, Scott. Thanks for bringing it to our attention, mate. We'll follow up with the BYD.
Thanks, Scott.
I'll stay in touch. Thanks, boys.
Good on you, mate. Great to hear from you. Look, I've got to say,
this opens up a few things. Like, is it yet another thing you need to do your homework on when you buy a car, when you buy an EV?
Well, so I'm thinking now, I'm erring on Scott's side because, excuse me, imagine another charger manufacturer, so a physical manufacturer, selling chargers to EV or ChargeFox or whoever, is making chargers that are so adherent to the standard that they also reject these same cars. So that's the basis.
Their defence is, well, we're sticking to the standard, aren't we?
That's the basis by which they do have a good case to argue. Fascinating. But I will reach out to BYD. I will ask them what they intend to do, whether they're aware of the issue, what they intend to do.
Is that fix possible, you think? Like getting that wiring harness and all that? Is that, you can do anything, really. Like,
the thing about the wiring harness is like the first thing. Remember when we were at the BMW factory and you watched everything go in? The wiring harness is one of the first things to go in, and everything goes on top of it. So if it's just the wiring harness, 30 centimeters in from the plug down, fine. But if it's
you got to take the whole car apart
somewhere further.
Wow.
That's as he says, that's an expensive fix.
Well,
but
interesting.
At the very least, they should perhaps offer it.
I agree.
We'll follow up. All right. Let us know if you've had an experience similar to that, or you have an issue like that we could potentially raise with the manufacturer on your behalf. Happy to help if we can. 0477 657 657. I needed it to go on you, so I needed the microphone.
It was all
to
on
make
you,
noise.
mate. It was all you there. That was your one.
Two Blokes Talking Electric Cars. Thanks, as always, to Uniden Smart Dash Cams and NRMA Insurance for their support. 0477 657 657. Love to have you on the show. Steve's on the line. G'day, Steve.
G'day, boys. How are you?
Well, I'm outnumbered.
Yeah, there's two Steves here today. Are you a Steve or a Stephen, mate? Which one are you?
Oh, mate, I'm a Steve, and I work with about 5 Steves. So all I can say is, parents in the 70s had no imagination when it came to kids' names.
Mate, I wish. I was born in the 60s, mate, but that's okay. That's okay.
Well played, Steve. Mate, are you an EV owner? What are you driving, my man?
Yeah, I'm driving a Volvo EX30. Have done for the last 6 months. So
Nice.
was the first EV and have gone all in. It's our only car, so
Wow.
we're living the EV life to the max at the moment.
And so, how did you come to decide on that vehicle? Did you test drive a few? What was the process?
Yeah, definitely test drove a few, but I'm also lucky to work for a large government organisation that has a large fleet of EVs. So I've been able to be driving MG4s, a couple of the Kia EV6s, Kia 6s, a few of the other EVSs, the smaller MG SUVs. So we're familiar with a lot of ones in the past, but Volvo I just went because it had that established brand, and it's nice quality, just beautiful interior and finish.
Great car. No, good choice.
Yeah, nice. So what's your ecosystem like? Charging at home? How have you gone all in here?
Yeah, got the 6.6 kilowatt at home, just on single phase. So charging at home, the wife only works a couple of days a week, so she normally has it plugged in through the day if the sun's out, and we hit probably 15 kilowatts a day on a granny charger, and that's more than enough to get us around and do what we need to do for the week.
Yeah, nice.
Do you do a lot of driving? And you says you share this car? Do you? Is that what you said? So
yeah,
how many
we
Ks
share
you
the
drive
car.
a week? Yeah.
Yeah, we share the car. We probably do about 10 or 12,000 Ks a year on average. We get down to Canberra a fair bit from Wollongong, which is about 270 Ks each way, and we charge when we get down there. There's an EV charger in Gordon, which is just perfect and quick, and it's like you don't even have to tap. It just registers the car when you plug her in, and away she goes.
Yes.
That's what Teslas do. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, that's been amazing. One thing though is mobile service, mobile phone reception. I think Trevor, I heard you talk a few weeks ago about Vodafone and upgrading their network. We got caught out at Pheasant's Nest where I just couldn't bloody charge because we couldn't get mobile phone reception. So I ended up buying an out.
No way.
No, couldn't open it. So I got an Aldi SIM card, which is on the Telstra network, and that stays in the glove box as a backup.
No way. You had to get another.
You've got a backup SIM.
No way. Oh boy.
Yeah, 100%. It cost
so
me
you're a
$30 for the
Vodafone
whole
customer.
year. So.
You're Vodafone.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, but I'm happy to report I gave her a test last week, and Vodafone service has improved markedly at that location, and I was able to charge.
That's exactly what they say with with that partnership. So you should be getting better, but there will still be areas. I know in Sydney there's a charger in Chatswood. One of the reports you see on PlugShare is. Because it's in the basement of the car park, it's pretty much one network only. So you have to be careful with that stuff. Have you? I mean, in reflection of those 6 months, was it a tough learning curve, or did you feel like you adopted it real quick?
Oh, look, I like to set myself a challenge, if I'm honest, Trev, and I just got ripped into it. And whenever we went anywhere long journeys for the first time, like out to Mudgee and stuff like that, to the vineyards, we just left with plenty of time. We had multiple locations on PlugShare already mapped out in case one didn't work. Tesla, the Tesla chargers are always reliable, and half of them are open to non-Tesla cars, so they were always a great backup, mate. But we just rolled the dice, and as long as you plan and you've got a bit of time buffer, I think it's about education for me. So it's a bit exciting about what works and what doesn't sometimes, if I'm honest.
And let's talk about the car itself, which is a nice car. I've driven this car. It's a beautiful car. What do you like about it? Let's put your reviewer hat on. What are you liking after 6 months, and what would you change? Let's start with what you like.
Well, the biggest thing I like about it is it was available through salary sacrifice, through financial fringe benefit tax exempt, which was amazing. And then the actual model of car, just the Volvo makes just beautiful cars. The fit and finish is outstanding. The thud of the door when you close it, the way it handles, it's solid, it's smooth, it's comfortable, but it handles pretty well as well. I come from sports cars, so it's not a sports car, but it's got nice taut suspension, which I like. The dash is clean. It's got one touch. Sort of one central display in the middle. There's no head-up display. There's no driver
Yeah. Looks like a normal car
display.
inside, doesn't it? It looks normal.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Just that one screen, 12.3 inch, and the best thing about it is it's native Google operating system. So you get the Google Maps, you get everything integrated nicely. Your phone connects really nicely, and when you look up something on your phone in Google Maps, it straight away will open in the car, so you don't have to search it again.
So are you then an Android user? You're not an iPhone user? So you're saying your Android, it integrates well? Because I remember I drove that car and I had an iPhone at the time, and it seemed odd that you can't get CarPlay in the car, or you can get CarPlay, but not Android Auto. Yeah. So what sort of phone are you using?
I've got an iPhone, but to be honest, I don't even connect it, mate. I jump in, I use the Google native system, and my Spotify account's already linked under the standard operating system in the car, mate. So all I use the phone for is just Bluetooth phone calls,
but
mate.
Also to listen to our podcast, mate, I hope, as well. Is that right? Or?
Well, mate, that's normally when I'm at the gym, boys, if I'm honest. I just jump on the treadmill and listen to what's
That's
new
where
and
I listen to
do.
podcasts as well.
So we're motivating you, mate.
I asked for that.
You walked into that one.
I'm curious. It's a single car household, and this is not to suggest at all that your partner might be like mine, but was it much of your decision and you had to bring her along for the journey, or were you both all in at that early stage too?
Oh, mate, I was running a 100% marketing campaign for 6 to 12 months before this was allowed to happen. I can tell you.
Yeah. All right.
You got it over the line. She wasn't against them.
Yep.
Yeah, she wasn't against them, but she didn't really know much about them. So it was a marketing campaign. I just really spoke about the benefits of for the environment, but the main reason is you can run off the solar.
Yeah.
It's clean. All the services are included for 5 years. We don't have any oil or any of that sort of stuff you got to worry about. And yeah, she got across the line and she charges at home, mate. So she loves it. It's easy. Wouldn't go back.
Marketing campaign.
That's very smart marketing. I asked that because my wife 3 times in the last week has come home and said, someone else asked me about the car today, because she's pulling up at a shop, or she went to the Ampol charger once, and she's pulling up at places in this big black SUV that's quiet, and it's a bold looking thing, the EV9, right? And so anyone with I think a broad interest in cars who hasn't seen one or anything will ask, what's it like? And she's like, I don't know. My husband, I told my husband. This is what she said. She says, I told my husband to get whatever he wants, and he got this. And I'm like, that's actually good, because it means she supports it.
Does she give out your phone number to people? Or?
Secondly, she says now, I like the EV part of it. She said that to me yesterday. She said, I told this guy because it's quiet.
The EV part of it.
It's quiet and smooth. And see, that's a fascinating thing. Some people, like my wife, it's a thing that gets you from place to place.
Yeah.
Whereas now she's like, I like that it's smooth. I like that it's electric.
Quiet,
I like that she doesn't realize we're not paying much for energy because we're just plugging in at home. But also it's good to have that kind of cooperative approach, Steve, because it means any dramas out on the road, your marketing campaign would have been helpful, I think.
Trevor never needed a marketing campaign. He just got it. Is that right? He just bought it.
I think the only frustration, as a lot of you callers say, boys, on week after week, is it's not with the car, it's the charging infrastructure. So the only time the wife ever said, "Hey, why do we do this?" is normally when we're in the middle of nowhere and the charger won't work, or we've got no mobile phone reception. So
then it becomes your fault. Then it's your fault, Steve, isn't it?
Then it's my fault. Then I've got to go on these type of podcasts and advocate for bigger charger networks.
Yeah.
Well, we're here. We support you, mate. We support you. Well, mate, glad to hear you've got a great experience with the
marketing campaign, mate. You should put that out publicly. The marketing campaign.
Genius.
I'd like to hear it.
That's genius. That's well done. All right, mate. Great to hear from you. Keep in touch.
Thanks, lads. Appreciate it.
Good on you, Steve. Thanks, mate. Very good. And
the marketing campaign,
mate. I've never planned 6 months for a purchase in my life.
Wow, he did some solid marketing there to get his wife across the line.
The only campaign that was ever involved for me was the Cooper took 3 months to get here, and so there was a
why do I need this
it's
campaign?
less of a marketing campaign, it's more of a crisis management campaign.
Midlife crisis management.
I just had to accept her label of midlife crisis.
Okay.
And once I did that,
mate,
embrace
it, I say.
Why not?
Embrace it. Yeah. Well, that's good. And one car household, and they've shown it works with one EV.
Yeah. Good stuff. Well done, Steve. Yeah. So great to hear from you. If you're like Steve and you want to share your experience, we'd love to hear from you. 0477 657 657. And we will follow up with BYD about Scott's call and see whether we can get any information
get a
on
result
that.
there.
I don't think we can get a result.
Well, let's find us. Well, maybe the journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. You never know.
Oh.
We're getting very philosophical here.
Thank you, Sensei Steve. Let's do it.
Confucius say,
Mr.
charge
Miyagi
your car
here.
wherever you can.
Wax on, wax off.
Do it, yeah.
Movie reference.
That's it,
I mean,
yeah, exactly.
You should be
Wow.
very happy with
Best
me, right?
movies you've never seen. Yeah.
Another great podcast by the two
Podcast
blokes.
named after
By the
Trevor.
way, because this is our most popular podcast, despite the fact that we've been doing another one for 14 plus years.
Yes.
If you do like this kind of rubbish stick we do,
Rubbish
we,
stick.
we do
If
this.
you do like this banter,
We do this 5 or 6 times a week.
Yeah.
If you
On
just
our other
search
podcasts.
Two Blokes Talking Tech, you'll hear our weekly tech wrap up. So about an hour of the latest tech and gadgets. There's the EFTM podcast, which is talk back on technology. There's the Tech Guide podcast, wrapping you through the latest reviews and news and info, as well as your feedback. There's the best movies you've never seen, which is Stephen introducing me to a brand new movie each and every week.
That's right.
And then there's the private feed, which is
Private
not
feed,
one for the kiddies. It's
which
just
is not,
us.
It's not about tech. It's just us, raw and unfiltered. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
That's a good way
That's
of
a
putting it.
solid plug for our channel.
Well,
Very
I mean,
well
why
done,
not?
Trev.
Why
Very
not?
well done. Why
All
not?
right, let's. We appreciate the support of NRMA Insurance and Uniden Smart Dash Cams, and we'll do it all again next week. See you then, Stephen.
Look forward to it.